I'm Joe Herbert, your Erie real estate agent, and today I'm here with another great video. And today this video is called How to Protect Yourself and Your Home. I've been a business entrepreneur for 30 years. I've been a real estate investor 25 years. I've been a realtor or a broker for 21 years. And believe me, I've got this huge library of mistakes that you can draw from, okay? And so I know why it's important to do these things to maintain or even increase the value of your home. And you would be amazed how many times I'm showing a home to a buyer and I see these things aren't being done. And so the buyers don't want to make an offer because they're like, hey, the house, it needs way too much work. If I had a dime for every time I heard a buyer say to me, yeah, it needs too much work, I would be rich. And I also go on listing appointments with sellers, and I go in their house and I'm like, you know what, you got to take care of that, you got to take care of that. The buyers are going to ding you for that, okay? So this is a great common sense punch list on what to do to maintain or improve the value of your home and protect yourself, okay? So let's get started with how to protect yourself and your home. So first of all, one of the most obvious things is insurance, right? And there's property insurance, which has a liability component. And then you can also buy extra liability insurance. Now I know insurance in Florida and California has become very expensive. We had all those fires in California. You know, today is, it's mid-February of 2025. And there were a lot of people, it was in the news, that didn't have insurance in California. Either they felt it was too expensive or their carriers dropped them. I know there were insurance companies that pulled out of California. Home and flood insurance in Florida is super expensive. But I will tell you, if you can afford it, try to have insurance, okay? And make sure the liability component in your home insurance is high enough that if somebody gets hurt on your property and sues you, that liability insurance is going to protect you. I also have a second umbrella personal liability policy because I own businesses, I own real estate, I have a home. I could be driving down the road tomorrow and have an accident and run somebody over by accident and they sue me for $5 million. Well, my property insurance is going to cover that. So I have this umbrella policy for me, okay? So make sure you have good insurance. Let's talk about maintenance, and I'm going to talk about repairs to damage and regular maintenance. So let's say there's a windstorm and some shingles blow off of your roof. Get it repaired as soon as possible, because once that layer of shingles, once that integrity has been penetrated, now the next windstorm can blow off even more shingles, okay? If the wind or the snow or the ice knocks your gutters down, get them repaired, okay? If a tree falls in your yard, get it out of there. Anything that gets damaged, cracked windows, siding blows off of the house, get it repaired because it's going to make other things happen if you don't. Let's talk about regular maintenance. I clean my gutters out twice a year. That's the number one reason I see water and moisture and mold in people's basements. It's stormwater, not groundwater. I also get the exterior of my house power washed once a year. I make sure I replace the filter in my furnace regularly, and I get my AC unit and my furnace cleaned out once a year. You should drain your hot water tank once a year, okay? And I will tell you something else. Every few years, this is a good idea. Call a home inspector and pay for a home inspection. Those home inspectors are like CSI. They come in with white gloves and a magnifying glass, and they will find things that you or your realtor don't even see. And by the way, if you're thinking about selling your house, I highly recommend before you put it on the market, get a home inspection. But anyway, maintenance. Take care of repairs right away and do regular maintenance. And I'm going to talk about another one here. If you have trees or bushes that are growing into the house and touching your home, get those trimmed back. Because when the wind blows, they're going to scrape against your house and damage the gutters, the siding, and the shingles. They're going to allow insects to get in underneath your siding and in your windows. So keep your landscaping cut back. That's regular maintenance. These two here go together, okay? Get it in writing. I don't care whether you're dealing with your neighbor, a contractor, anybody. Get it in writing with as much detail as possible. And I'll tell you a good story. So I had a rental property, and the neighbor's tree was hanging over the parking lot of my rental property. I went to the neighbor, I knocked on the door, I said, can you come outside, I want to show you, I'm going to trim the branches of your tree that are hanging over my property, which I was allowed to do. She said, oh, no problem, go right ahead, I appreciate it. I did it. A few weeks later, I got a letter in the mail. She was suing me for damaging her tree. I should have got it in writing and had her sign it that she was okay with me doing that, okay? I'll give you another example. I had a client who was selling their house, and the neighbor planted some shrubs, actually accidentally planted them on my client's property. And my client wanted to remove them because they were going to sell their house and they don't want the new buyers to have any problems. So we wrote up an agreement, and the neighbor agreed to let the seller that I was representing remove those shrubs, but we got it in writing. Contractors, this is a big one. Anytime you're bringing a contractor to your house, get the start date in there, the end date, the price, when are the payments going to be due, who's paying for labor, who's paying for materials, and I'll give you another good one. List it out really in detail. What are the deliverables? When that job is done, exactly what are they doing? And also, who's cleaning up afterwards? I've had contractors come in, do work, they leave, and they leave a pile of garbage and old lumber and plaster everywhere. I call them up and I go, hey, you guys left junk everywhere. And they say, oh, our bid didn't include to get rid of that. Our bid was just to do the repairs. Get it in writing, who's cleaning up, and how is the job site going to be left when they're done, okay? So get it in writing. I'll tell you, I've been burned by this numerous times, and now I get everything in writing. Get along with your neighbors. This sounds like a goofy one, but it isn't. If you want to protect yourself and your home, get along with your neighbors. Even if your neighbors are driving you crazy, they make too much noise or shooting off fireworks, they don't take care of their property, be well liked with them, by them. Because sooner or later, a day is going to come when you're going to want something from that neighbor. And if you've done stuff to get back at them, they're not going to help you, okay? Get along with your neighbors. You want to be well liked. Also, if something's going on around your house, you want your neighbors to tell you. You don't want them to not talk to you because you weren't nice to them. This is a big one here, safety, okay? I just had a real nice generator put in my house. If my power goes out, I can run everything. Laundry, microwave, I can cook. My refrigerator isn't going to go down. My food isn't going to spoil. Get a generator. Let's talk about smokes and CO2s. For about 40 to 50 bucks, you can buy a 10-year sealed lithium battery smoke and CO2 detector. Those are the only ones I buy because I don't want my smoke detector chirping in the middle of the night and I got to put a battery in it. I like no maintenance. You can buy a smoke detector, a cheap one for 20 bucks, and you got to replace the batteries. Don't get it. Get the combination smoke and CO2 10-year sealed lithium battery, and you should have one on every floor. Okay? Have a fire extinguisher on every floor. Put one in your garage too. So if you get a fire, and by the way, don't put the fire extinguisher in the kitchen where there could potentially be a fire. Put it right outside of the kitchen. So if something on your stove catches on fire, you can get to the fire extinguisher, come back and put out the fire. But have one in your basement, first floor, second floor, and garage, okay? So let's go back over this. How to protect yourself and your home. Make sure you have the right insurance. Take care of your house. Get stuff fixed right away and do the regular maintenance. Get everything in writing. Get along with the neighbors. Make sure your house is safe. And I'm going to tell you something else here. If you have sidewalk out in front of your house that's buckling from tree roots, get it fixed. If somebody falls, you're going to get sued. Make sure you have handrails on your steps going upstairs, steps coming into the house, steps going out to the backyard, right? Your basement steps. Have handrails everywhere so people, if they fall or stumble, they can grab the handrail. Make sure your house is safe. So that's how to protect yourself and your home. I'm Joe Herbert, your Erie real estate agent. If you're thinking about buying or selling real estate, I can help you. I'd love to be your realtor. You can text or call me, 814-602-6181. Thanks for watching.